Welcome to Random Conflux, where today we are going to talk about games that we despise with affinity. Affinity?
Sure. Games that we don't care for. That you probably won't see Let's Plays on this channel outside of me having to suffer record footage for.
Yes.
Um,
How about I go first? Because my rant's gonna be probably long. Or do you want to go first?
we'll start with the first game on your list, which was starts what you stated a few times you don't care for.
Yes. Very passionately. Metal Gear Survivor. Hate that game. Hate it. But that's also because I see it as a Metal Gear game because it's got the Metal Gear title. It should not be a Metal Gear game. If it was its own game, and I know that Konami can do this because they've made really good games in the past, but they wanted to piggyback off of Metal Gear, and it's like they don't even know what Metal Gear is. And to me, Metal Gear Survive is a bad game.
Now me, a bad game I don't like that I literally don't care for. Surfing, surfing H3O for the PlayStation 2. I couldn't even get off the board in that game. Where you swim out to the water. I might be just because I was younger at the time, but I could not figure that game out.
Mine is more of like I can play the game,
Yeah.
and when I did play, I was very good at it. And I'm talking about Metal Gear Survive.
It just kept your interest for about 5 minutes, and then you realize, like, I don't like this.
No, I had to trick my brain into thinking it was a Metal Gear game. But the moment that I go back and I see that it's got Metal Gear on the cover, I'm like, I do not like this game. And I love zombie games. One of the zombie games I love to play is Walking Dead Survival Instincts. And a lot of people probably hate that game. I will literally go back and play that game. I may not play it all the time, but I do own the game, and there are occasions where I go back and play it. Another zombie type game that I love to play, and it's not really revolved around zombies, but Black Ops 2. I love the zombie mini game in that. But it plain out gives you that option if you want to play it that way or not.
And that's the thing. It's like the games we're talking about. Like for you, Metal Gear Survive. It's not that it's the worst game ever. It's because it's a mediocre game piggybacking off Metal Gear.
It's a game that could be something different.
Yeah.
And they intended to make it different. For me, and this is something I would have done if I was making the game. I wouldn't call it Metal Gear Survive, for one. I wouldn't piggyback off of the Metal Gear success. And I wouldn't be comparing it to a Metal Gear game. And there are some things that they could have done better with it. One, they called it a survival game where it barely has any survival mechanics. It's just another Metal Gear 5 game but instead of the parasite freaks that you get in Metal Gear Solid 5, you're in a zombie apocalypse where, like, the world is brought to destruction and chaos because what? Cypher wins? It's that it's that what if Cypher wins? What if Zero wins, right? And that's literally the setup for that game.
Yep. And another horrible game. Since I know you're talking about Gear, but we got to fill it with more stuff other than that. Even I'm sure you could rant the entire time.
Well,
with that.
We'll hold off on those in a second. I'm just going to finish this little rant.
Okay.
And the reason why I hate the game so much, it has nothing to do with the title. The gameplay does not make sense to the title. It's Metal Gear Survive. Where is the survival mechanic other than running away from zombies? How does Zero winning cause the world to be plunged in a world with freaking zombies?
In a world with freaking zombies, there's one man who can save us all.
Brother, no.
Oh, brother. Rated. No, jokes aside, I 100% get it.
Like, that's my total beef with the game. It could have been something else.
Yeah.
But they want to piggyback on a story that they had no fucking right to piggyback on. And yeah, Kojima or Konami has rights to Metal Gear, whatever.
You just don't think
they don't understand Metal Gear. It was Kojima's pet project, and they fucked him over for it. Yeah. Just so they can make a stupid-ass zombie game.
And they didn't do a good job at the time.
And out of zombie games, it's not even a good zombie game.
Now, going away from Metal Gear for a moment, because I know you can do this for about 30 minutes and just rant. I will say, I already mentioned Surfing H3O, another game that I do not care for. It was released on the PS1, and before I say this, I am a huge Dragon Ball fan. I like almost all things Dragon Ball. I do not like Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. The best thing about that game was the animated opening.
I heard that the gameplay for that was rough.
It's the most unresponsive fighting game I have ever played. And I have played Shaq Fu, my friends. I would play Shaq Fu over GT Final Bout.
Those that don't know, Shaq Fu. If my mouth could work with my brain. It's I want to say it's like a teaser game, like a joke game. At least in the US it was. I don't know if the game went global or anything, but there were like 500 and some copies of the game released.
It was more than that. I have a copy of the game physically.
You also bought it recently from a freaking thrift store.
Yeah, it was a flea market. And you and me played it. And I will say that I had a better experience with Shaq Fu than they did with GT Final Bout. Shaq Fu was at least fun for all the wrong reasons, but it was fun.
Oh, brother.
No. Now, that said, I love the Budokai games. I love the Budokai Tenkaichi games.
I mean, with most Dragon Ball games, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I even like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which I know you and Matt don't like. So like DBZ games. I do not like Final Battle.
But I completely agree with that. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't played the game myself, but I've heard like the game was very tanky.
Yeah.
Like the controls were horribly unresponsive.
Yes.
Has so much of a delay between the controller input and the action that your character does, or your character does the wrong fucking actions,
Yeah.
or like it didn't sync up well.
Yeah.
But we're bashing on games that we have played. We're bashing on games that we've given a chance to touch our happy places and still can't stand the game.
Yep. Like, for instance, I know a game that you don't care for, that a lot of people hold dear to their hearts. You don't like Parappa the Rapper.
We will get into that another time, sir.
That's a long story.
Oh, that game. I owned a copy of that game, and mind you, I was like 7 or 8 when I had a copy of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And bear with me, people. Bear with me, YouTube.
You did not have happy times.
I played it for 5 minutes. Usually, any other game, I would probably be at the 5th level. I was still on level 1. I took the game, smashed it over my knee, and threw it in the garbage can. My mom looks at me like, "Did you just break your game?" I go, "No." She goes, "Then what do you call it?" I go, "I broke a piece of garbage."
And for those of you that like the game, because like I said, I know it's a greatest hits title, this is Zach's opinion on the game.
How is it the greatest hit title?
There's enough people that like it. I'm not saying that you.
If you like the game, comment down below. Let me roast you.
Like I said, this is Zach's opinion, so don't feel bad if you like the game. Same with any of these games. But
Yeah, like if there's a game we don't like and you disagree with it, then kudos.
Yeah.
Like, say you disagree down in the comment. We like the banter, but keep it civil. Yeah, keep it very civil. But going back to Metal Gear Survive, like I didn't have high hopes for the game when it was first announced.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not jumping on any bandwagon or anything like that. There are people that had very low expectations of the game, and it blew their minds. Like, they disassociate it from a Metal Gear game, and they can play it very well.
Yeah, I have friends that have legitimately enjoyed the game. It's just our opinion.
And
it's more your opinion because I didn't play the game, so I can't bash it.
And for me, like, the gameplay doesn't suck that bad. I mean, not given as bad to, like, Grand Tour.
Mm-hmm.
Like your Dragon Ball game. But it's like, how do I say it? To me, it tries to be something that it's not. And I don't really like games like that. I don't like games that piggyback off of one IP and becomes like completely different. Mm-hmm. And to me, it becomes different in a bad way. They could have done so much more, and the game could have been so much better. But as they have it now, like, the game is, to me, shit.
I can see your point with that. Now, here's a hot take. A bad game that you enjoy playing just because it's bad. Like your guilty pleasure game that's like horrible.
A bad game that I will go back and play just because of how cringy it is.
Yeah.
American Actually Adventures.
I could maybe see that. I was gonna say maybe Pocket Planner, but wasn't
that
really
doesn't count as a game, damn it!
It was a Game Boy cartridge. It was a game.
It doesn't count as a game. That was a planner, sir. But yeah, it's a game that I think is corny as all heck. But I will actually go back and replay it. I have played it before, and the reason why I have played it is because, as a joke, I told JJ to get it. And it was at a flea market.
Wasn't it a Game Boy game?
No, it was a Sega game.
Oh, okay.
You got it at the same time you got it at Shaq Fu.
Okay. I forgot about that.
So, as a joke, I didn't think you were going to take me seriously, but as a joke, I told you, this is the game you need to play.
I think we got it as a joke too, didn't we? I forget where it went. But.
And then I felt bad because I didn't think you would waste your money on it. So I actually decided to play it. I'm like, yeah, it's a corny game, but it's kind of fun.
Another game I played just because of how bad it is, Barney's Hide and Seek. Honestly, all negatives aside, it is a graphically impressive game for the Sega Genesis. That's the only good thing about it.
A game.
If you see it, run away.
Yes, run far away. One game that was actually unplayable for me and actually made me not like the game was Cyberpunk 2077.
You like it now?
I had high hopes for the game when I heard about it. I wanted to play it so bad.
Me and Zach had different experiences with Cyberpunk when it first came out. Before we even say this, but.
It seemed like all the fuck ups I had didn't happen to you, and it was to the point where I could not play that game in a happy mood. And it was like, okay, well, this game is pissing me off. I need to quit playing it.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do a damn thing on it without either one, being killed by my own car, dropping through the fucking world, getting seen through walls, instantly being found hacking the camera when you're out of its line of sight. The screen went black for like a good 30 minutes. Lost the game. Corrupted save file multiple times. Mind you, this is like the first few years that the game was out.
To be fair, they have fixed almost all these issues, and Zach actually enjoys it now. This is early Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Without the bugs, Cyberpunk was fun.
Yeah.
But every time I had a bug, I'm like, I want to break this game. But I didn't have a physical copy to break. And that's a good thing.
Yep. Now, what's a game that you liked that everybody else reviewed poorly?
Saints Row.
The new one? I on the ball with that. I enjoyed it.
Like,
I mean, some of the negative reviews were warranted. Some of them weren't.
Well,
but I enjoyed it myself.
A heavy majority of those negative reviews are from people that never played the game. Mm-hmm. And I admit, like, I bash Metal Gear Survive all the time. I've been doing it as a reigning joke on the channel. And I even told you why I do not like Metal Gear Survive in this video. But I have sat down and played the game. And I still did not like it. To me, that game could have been something else. But I did not just go around on the internet saying that this game is going to be shit or blah, blah, blah before the game even comes out. But yet still complaining that the game didn't even fucking come out. Like, what the heck? To me, it's about, if you're going to complain about a game, at least play it.
Yeah. No.
And there's so many freaking haters on that game that's like, I'm never going to play this stupid fucking game. Blah, blah, blah. You know, cool. If you're not going to play it, then don't talk about it.
Yeah. Now, a game that's rated horribly, but is really fun in multiplayer, and one of our friends that shares my first name enjoys playing it to this day, and you and me played it together, Dragon Ball Z Sagas. It is I'm not saying it's a good game, it's a fun multiplayer game.
I did not know Sagas was a 2-player game.
You didn't know that?
I had Sagas for PS2.
You didn't know it's 2-player?
No,
Wow.
Because I got kicked in the one-person thingy.
Oh yeah, it's co-op. It's multiplayer.
In the campaign.
Yeah, it's 2-player co-op.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. And don't play Sagas by yourself. It's horrible by yourself. It's fun because it's so janky and 2-player.
To me, just running around the field on that game was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like the fighting style of that game very well. To me, it kind of sucked in that regard, but like the game was kind of really good rendered.
The animated cutscenes were the best thing about that game too.
But those that don't know about the game, you basically start off as Kakarot and Goku, and you're going around. There's a certain amount of Dragon Balls in each level.
I think it only goes up to the Cell Saga, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it goes up to Cell Saga. Because the last character you play is Gohan. Team Gohan.
It's also one of the only games, if memory serves correct, where future Gohan only has one arm.
I don't remember future Gohan even being in it.
He was in it. It was like a scenario that had a lock. It was him and Teen Trunks.
I remember playing the area where you can actually play as Trunks, like adult Trunks.
Yeah, I got to,
and that's against Mecha Frieza.
Yeah, I got to the Future Gohan arc, and I can't remember if I got past that or not. I know I got fed up with the game at some point.
Is that before or after the Cell arc? Like, did you have to go back through it?
I honestly don't remember.
Because I got to the Cell arc, and I never seen that level.
You might have to go back. I honestly don't remember.
I also got frustrated with the fighting mechanic in that game. Another game that is kind of wacky, but it's a fun wacky. Conker's Bad Fur Day.
That's not a bad game, though.
I love the game, but it's wonky. You can say it's got very bad controls, but That's the way that the game was made.
Yeah, you can't really call that a bad game though. It's a classic. I mean,
It has delayed controls for a reason when you're playing the campaign, and it's because technically your character's drunk.
yeah.
And of course, you're going to be a little sluggish and non-responsive. Even throughout like the majority of the game, there's some delayed controls, but there's a way to boost your response time.
Yeah. I wouldn't even put Conquer's Bad Fur Day on this list. We're talking bad games. That's not a bad game.
Well, some people could say it's a bad game, but it was made to be quirky.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most interesting portion of the game is that it is quirky. And you're a drunk character, so your controls kind of, resemble that.
Yeah.
But, crap. One of the Mortal Kombat games I just would never go back to.
What was it for?
I can't remember. It had the ability to have a solo campaign, and it's one of the first adventure style Mortal Kombat games.
I might know what you're talking about.
I had it for the PS1, and I don't remember the name of it.
Mythologies?
Maybe?
Where you play a Sub-Zero and it's like side-scroller?
No. It's an over-the-shoulder, 3D environment.
I know what you're talking about. You play as, what's his name? With the arms. Jax.
You can pick a character. It has, a different story for each character.
Yeah.
But, I do have a beef with that game, and maybe it's unwarranted. And maybe it had to do with my PlayStation at the time because it was a hand-me-down PlayStation. But the game was brand new. I played it for 2 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Opening scene, boot up, starting, setting up the memory card, getting through the opening video, picking the character I wanted to pick, playing that opening video, getting to the open world aspect of the game. I get to, I want to say the middle of the first area. And the first area kind of looked like a coliseum from what I can remember. And for some reason, mine black screened on me. I did something and it freaking black screened on me.
Was this it? Mortal Kombat Special Forces?
No.
It's like, that's what it sounded like.
And the art cover has a Roman castle, a Roman Colosseum type architecture on the cover.
I don't know.
You got to play Sub-Zero's story. You got to play Kulong's story or Kung Lu's story. Jack's story. Sarah. Luke Cage. Scorpion.
It wasn't Shaolin Monks for PS2, was it?
No, it was PS1.
Because Shaolin Monks was fun. I remember that.
It was before Shaolin Monks. It was PS1. Mm-hmm. It was very, very early PS1. And I cannot remember the freaking name of it.
Okay. Well,
I'm wanting to say Armageddon, but I'm thinking that's wrong.
No, it wasn't Armageddon.
Because I replayed Armageddon. A buddy of mine has it. And that game played really well.
Armageddon's awesome. It's on. I have the PS2 one.
But this, maybe it was just my experience. Maybe my PS2 was or my PS1 was crappy, but it sucked. I black screened, had to shut off the console, turn it back on. A buddy of mine told me to try play it with the lid open. It actually worked, but then like it didn't want to read my memory card. It didn't want to read my controller. And then there was a section where you're like in the nether realm, and you have to do a 5-hit combo. And I think it's one of the other stories, and you have to fight Scorpion in it. I think it's Sub-Zero's story. And I went to do the 5-hit combo, and for some reason, the input was the opposite of what I pressed.
Weird.
Yeah. And as I got older, I started thinking of the game. I had a buddy of mine look it up, and I still can't remember the freaking name of it. But he said that like the quirks that I was having were pretty normal for that game. Like that
Makes
game
sense.
should have been kind of not made. I mean, there were other games other than that were really well done. But that game just too many issues. If you have if you know the game that I'm talking about and you have a working copy of it, I would love to see it. Go ahead and post a video of you playing it right here in the comments down below, or send it to our Gmail at randomconflux@gmail.com.
Something like that.
Yeah. And we can get images, we can get videos, and it's randomconflux@gmail.com. So, yeah.
I think that's a good place to end this topic. I can't think of
Well,
anything else
I
to
can talk about some Metal Gear Survive some more.
I think you've ranted enough about Metal Gear Survive.
I don't think they understand.
I think they do.
I don't think they understand. I don't think that my Corey has met their expectations.
I think after a certain point they'll tell you just to stop talking about Metal Gear Survive. Now, just aside with that, I've been John.
Well, before we close off,
Okay.
if someone offered you $1 million to go play one of the worst games ever, what game would you not touch for $1 million?
There's not really a game I wouldn't try.
Like games that you have went back to and said, this game is shit. I am never going to touch this game again.
Considering I'm going back and playing some of these games for recording purposes, there's not that many that I wouldn't play. There's not played long is another story.
I mean, like, you would not play at all. To me, that's kind of...
For you, that's Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah.
I don't have any desire to play the game out of principle, but I see where you're coming from with it.
I mean, I think you should play the game.
Just to say I did.
Just to say that you did, because obviously you can get the game off somebody.
Yeah.
But I literally want you to play the game and let me know next time we do a video like this if my opinion about the game is warranted. And those that love Metal Gear Survive, cool. You know, go ahead. Send us a video if you play in the game. Cool. No big deal. It's just, all because I don't like the game doesn't mean that anybody else shouldn't like the game. Mm-hmm. And, I'm pretty sure that everybody else that's probably listening to this video has a game that they're like, oh, I'm never going to go back to this, but I sat down and played it. Mm-hmm. If there's a game like that for you guys, comment the game down below. Maybe we will actually play the game. Mm-hmm. We do use an emulator. We prefer to play games that we've owned in the past. But if it's a game that we can go back and play on an emulator, we'll go ahead and play it. Or maybe I'll have JJ play it. And we'll check the game out, or if there's a game that you would like to see on the channel, or if you want to torture JJ, just comment down below for him to play some Surf H3O. And we'll probably make him go play the game.
Okay, who wants to see me play Surfing H3O, and who wants everybody to see Zach play Parappa the Rapper?
No. And
if we get over 100 comments on this video, we will have Zach play Parappa the Rapper. He will suffer the torture.
No, I want to torture you.
100 comments.
Well, you gotta count all 100 comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will be playing these games for footage purposes. I'm not gonna say I enjoy them. I will be playing them because Zach wants to torture me.
Yes.
Please subscribe and hit the bell so we can watch Zach suffer. And
you know what? If this video at any point makes 500,000 likes, I'm gonna go 5,000 likes. If this video can get 5,000 likes, not just comments, just 5,000 likes, I'll play Metal Gear Survive on the channel.
okay.
But if we can get to 500 subscribers because of this video, me and JJ both will make a series of the games that we hate the most. As for you, you get to pick one of the games that you hate the most and play a full series of it. And I'll play Metal Gear Survive full series. Sound like a plan?
I'm gonna hate this.
I'm saying it because I don't think we'll get the amount of likes that I mentioned, and I don't think we'll get that many subscribers. And I'm hoping
You're wrong.
that I'm wrong, but like that's good hoping.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want that to kind of happen, but yet I'm probably going to suffer as much as you.
With that, I think that's a good place to end this.
Yes.
I've been John.
I've been Zach.
And
this has been a topic about the most hated games in the world. Just in our own opinion. Metal Gear, you still suck. Metal Gear Survive sucks. Just putting that out there.
But I like the zombies.
They're not even zombies.
Then what have I been playing all this time?
It doesn't make sense.
Oh.